Hello, today we are going to discuss about the IELTS Speaking Cue Card. So basically in Cue Card, you will be given a scenario. It's the second part and you will be having 1 minute time first to prepare the card and then we have 2 minutes time to complete it. So there are two areas that you have to focus in this Cue Card part: the task management and task achievement. Apparently speaking, it cannot be defined in the marking criteria, but it is something that is quite important. Beside those four marking criteria, I will repeat it again for you. That includes grammatical range accuracy, your lexical resources, your fluency, and your pronunciation. These are the four things that the examiner will be seeing in your conversation and you will be marked based on these four criteria. But in Q card, you have to look for two other areas. That is your task achievement. In 2 minutes time, you have to do your best to complete your task. Followed by the management. Management means that how much time should be spent on each prompt. Some of the question demand you to speak at length. Maybe you have to speak more than the other prompt. So in the cue card, the planning part is quite important. And the story part it's a part of the planning, by the way, but the story part is quite important. For example, if you have a cue card, describe a time when you participated in a survey. This is a background statement. So now with reference to this background statement, we need to work on the story creation, a background story. You can start conversation with a background statement, and in the background statement, you can introduce your story. While introduction of the story, you may show the range of tenses or sentences range by starting with the clause of contrast, maybe although, despite, even though, or by starting with the past perfect, present perfect tense. So normally perfect tense use is not that much common among the students. We would not suggest you to over bombard this perfect tense, but I'm just giving you a suggestion that you can use maybe in a story, because you may drag something from past and heading toward the present. So in a background part of your cue card, you can use the variety of tenses and sentences. Then the next prompt, normally you can see that just demands to answer in 1 or 2 lines. And the tense of that prompt has been defined in the prompt. If sometimes they ask you in the present tense, in the past simple, or the past perfect, whatever the tense of the prompt is, try to answer your question in that tense. Then we also have a vocabulary part. So if it's about the survey, if it's about the hometown, if it's about the food, if it's about traveling, so you must write it down, some of the relevant vocabulary word while you're preparing in 1 minute, and you need to practice those vocabulary word in your cue card. That must be appropriately used, adequately used, and they should be right with reference to the scenario. So in the cue card, you need to see if I have to spend how much time in the background statement, how much time for each card, and normally you may have seen that the last part of the statement also need explanation. And accordingly, you have to work on your intelligibility, pronunciation, where you need to raise the tone, where you have to drop the tone. In cue card, basically we have 1 minute time for preparation and 2 minutes time to speak. You have to work on the 4 points of the marking criteria. Along with that, you need to be careful for the task management and task achievement. So in cue card, it's better to divide the areas, and accordingly you can use the right form of tense and the vocabulary. In cue card, it's better to use at least 3 stories from past, present, and future. Like you have to create a scenario so that you can start something for past, then discuss something from present, and then for the future as well, so that at least you can show the range of tenses in your cue card. And secondly, I would suggest you to use the clause of contrast. You have to practice for that. Clause of purpose, again you have to practice for that, and clause of reason. So while using those complex sentences, despite it is something that will give you a good band score, you have an opportunity to show your scale of writing over there. So using complex sentences, compound complex sentences, and simple sentences, in combination of all these areas of the grammar, you may have a very high score in the grammar. So if you have any problem with the cue card and if you are having hesitation, you need a simulated environment. So M&M is home for you. Why? Because it's not we are offering a grand mock monthly or weekly, but basically after your 3-week classes or 4-week classes, you would be able to participate in our daily mocks program. So daily mocks mean your listening, reading, writing can be done on daily basis with a complete feedback in 24 hours. So you will see the areas that you need improvement in your cue card, in your part 1 or part C. So if you are having any problem, just join M&M so that we can work on your areas of speaking. Thank you.